hottest station is now live for your enjoyment with host iamBranded.
He wanted to be there. He would. I have Miss Paula Campbell as my guest on Nexxlegacy Radio tonight, Azure Radio. Paula, what's up, baby?
Hey, how are you?
Hey, Paula.
Hi, Denaya.
I love that title.
Thank you so much. I will say that my best friend gave it to me in a conversation, and my daughter's godmother and one of my really good friends, of course, was like, that's the title to the book. But I was just telling her about a conversation that I was having with my best friend about my breakup during that time, when I got over that breakup. And she was like, well, at the end of the day, girl, if he wanted to be there, he would. And it insulted me. Like, I was offended by it. And but she's very direct, kind of like myself. And so I'm just kind of ranting to my daughter's godmother, like, can you believe? And Anika said, she said, you know what, that's the title of the book. And I said, oh, well, that is the title of the book. So, that's where we are with it.
Listen, I want to tell you, first off, it's good to hear from you, as always, and I'm glad you can always bless the show and your listeners, your fan base, new and established, to have this moment that I could just, tell you from a male's perspective, and I'm going to give you a lot of it because, obviously I'm a male, and I have a perspective, so I'm going to give it to you as raw as I can only give it to you. So before I even dive deep into everything, and I deny you haven't read it yet, and I know you probably either glanced through excerpts or whatnot, so I know you have questions towards it, but I want to first off tell you thank you for this. And the reason why I'm thanking you for this is because, and I put it on one of the Amazon, how you can be able to rate it, so I rated it obviously a 5, and I put on there, like, seriously, this is, something that I feel like a must-have, not just from a male's perspective, but also from a person's perspective on real thoughts and things that you have gone through and things that I know a lot of women have gone through that men just didn't pay attention to. And a lot of it is going to circle some of my conversation towards that, but I just wanted to thank you for that because it really kind of took me to a place where I had to really step back, too, and I'll tell you why later, but I just really had to thank you for that, though, seriously.
No, thank you. I appreciate it. First of all, make sure if you guys get the book, please, if you get it from Amazon, make sure you rate it, give me a 5, and leave a comment. That definitely draws more attention and brings it to the forefront. But I want to say thank you for even saying that. I was speaking. I did a Instagram Live with KD from Prophet Jones a few weeks back, and he called me the next day. And he was like, P, I'm reading this. He said, but what I'm so grateful for as a man is we forget to take into consideration the DNA of a woman. A woman, just by nature, her makeup is emotional, and we don't take that into consideration. And reading the book, he got that, and that wasn't what I was trying to put into it, honestly, but I'm so appreciative that so many males have given me great feedback because, it can some men think that it's like a male-bashing book because of the title, but it's really not. It's really just a guide to help you honestly break from different types of relationships. So whether it's a romantic relationship, a friendship, a work relationship, whatever it is, it's kind of like it's that thing that says, okay, when you get to a certain point when you're no longer desired, wanted, or needed in the space. So, you got to figure out how to make your exit.
Right.
From this book, and I feel like I'm going to start off with this because I think either you probably had it throughout your interviews over the course of the last maybe couple of months, since the book's been released or whatnot, but I feel like I should start. Like, obviously, this is taking, pieces of your heart into that book. In addition to that, before you decided, what, I feel like I really wanted to get this book out there, what else was your motivation for getting it out there based on not just your experience, but, an awareness that, men and women should have in regards to topics like this?
Well, let me say, like, I've been writing. So I started writing my memoir in 2009. So that initially was the book that I wanted to put out first. I had a really a horrible breakup a little over 2 years, almost 3 years ago now. And what I realized in the course of healing, or not healing, should I say, was in the very beginning of it, it was me holding me back. My dad says a lot of things, and I refer to my dad a few times in the book. And he told me when I was little, like when I was maybe a teenager, and he said, never make a man tell you twice that he doesn't want you. And I didn't get it then, like, what? Who ain't gonna want me? Wait a minute. But what he was saying is, a man will show you if he desires to be with you. I say, when a man wants something, he'll make a way. When he doesn't, he'll create an excuse. And what I realized was I was in a space where I left and broke off an engagement in hope of him getting the bigger picture, understanding that we were meant to be, and he shouldn't do the things that he was doing to drive me away. But instead, he was like, "Oh, bye." He released it, and I was out of it. But what I realized is all of my issues, all of my baggage, all of that, who wouldn't want me? Well, he don't. That got in the way, and I stopped myself from healing. He was definitely, he definitely had sociopathic tendencies. I speak about, personality disorders in the book, and so he definitely had a lot of sociopathic tendencies and traits. So I refer to him, my therapist referred to him as that. But that kind of like just kind of divvying and diving into my life and trying to be a part of everything that I was a part of, trying to get to know the people that I'm talking to and become friends, and just so many different things. But I was holding myself back by continuously allowing him to be in my space, some shape, way, or form, by looking to see what he was doing on social media, by trying to still be a part of a huge business that I helped him create instead of just taking myself out of it. And I kept falling back into this same pattern of trying to force someone to love me as opposed to releasing that person and loving myself more. And in therapy and in my research, what I found out was that I wasn't the only person, or I wasn't a rarity, that so many women go through this on a regular basis. Because I personally thought I was crazy, like, oh my God, this man has driven me crazy. But at the end of the day, love loss, and I say this in the book as well, love loss is a death. It's the death of something that you thought would never end. And it's a death, but you still get to see it. So every time you see it, every time someone mentions it, it's opening up that wound and bringing up all of those emotions and those thoughts of the bad times and what could have been all over again. So, I mean, it was just honestly me getting to a space of acceptance and healing and understanding that people kind of need to hear the raw truth and not just some fairy tale that you grew up with. Like, you need to understand how to detach. You need to understand what your childhood traumas are, or just your own issues that you carry in your baggage, so that you can deal with others and yourself in a way that is healthy, and you can learn to put yourself first. I know that was a lot, but it is.
No, it was necessary, and I feel like this, and Denai, you're going to ask this one, but I feel like this, as Denai gets ready to ask her question, is what you just said is not just encompasses what I feel like a lot of people really in relationships, they have an idea, but at the same time it's really based off of, okay, well, how is this going to affect me in a certain way? And what I feel like with the book, it kind of put me in a perspective of, I can't just think about myself or my feelings. I have to think about how this is going to impact my lady's feelings, you know what I mean, and vice versa to a degree, but also it's how you nurture that and how you grow it and how the responsibility, if you're going to commit to someone, that it's going to be up to you to create in that person and create in us. And it's just like, I feel like, and I'm going to tell you more about this because this kind of dug into something personal that I'm going to tell you shortly, but Denai, go ahead and take on the question.
So what would you say was your biggest lesson when it comes to relationships that you found out about yourself?
Be honest, it was learning some things about my childhood. I've been on with Charles a few times, so he understands like a few things about me, but I never grew up with a lot of family. I am, in my opinion, the definition of love. I honestly believe with everything in me that there is good and light in every person. I believe that every person wants to be loved, and somewhere deep down inside, everyone wants to give love. I think that my desire to be loved and to show someone just how much love I had to give to the world, that everybody's not deserving of that. And not that everyone is not deserving of love, like you should love everyone, but everyone is not deserving of everything that you have to pour out. And you have to really gauge who is worthy of that and not try to force what you believe, your ideas and your beliefs of what should be onto other people. So I think that was probably my biggest lesson in all of it.
If he wanted to be there, he would. It's a collection of information based on research, experience, and the expertise on love, relationship, heartbreak, and the certain personality disorders. Paula Campbell is my guest on Nexxlegacy Radio. Denaya is your radio. Make sure you go to iamPaulaCampbell.com to get it. I am saying this as not just a supporter and a fan of her work musically and her being an author. I'm telling you, it will open up your eyes and actually it'll open up your ears to really pay attention to why this is important in the aspect of relationships and friendships. And Paul, I'm just going to give you something personal. Like I feel like during the course of, and I'm solid in my relationship right now. It was never really like that. I want to go back, the off and on path that we blazed 6 years ago. And when you mentioned that depression and anxiety is a result of heartbreak and loneliness, you are damn right for this reason. Like when you do experience that, when you love someone so deeply, like you said earlier, and it's passionate and it's raw and it's uncut, and when you feel like you don't have control, not necessarily control over the situation, but when you feel like you don't have control over it anymore, then that kicks in to a point where you feel like, damn, I failed. You know what I mean? To a point where you really got to reflect and step back. And I feel like in the relationship that I have now and the fact that we're strong now is because there's points in my life where I heard her, but I didn't listen. You know what I mean? I didn't get to a point where, I didn't really pay attention to what was important to her, and I was just really on my own feelings, on my own hype at that particular time. So through therapy, and obviously in the book, reminds me of where to pause in your relationship to nurture it and make it strong, not just for myself, my own self-happiness, but also, making sure that you watch her happiness. And the title is so on point because if he wanted to be there, he would. You're going to see that through effort. You're going to see that through, it's not just all romance and, everything is everything. You just put in a real damn effort to do it. So I just wanted to tell you that because it really just kind of stirred up just a lot of accountability that I feel like as far as men we need to have in order for us to be able to, help understand our ladies. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. No, I completely agree, and I'm so glad that you see it that way.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of men really want to put themselves in a position of being vulnerable because I know, and I'm just speaking for myself. I can't speak for other men, but to a point where at least during my stretch, I felt like I had to be the man. So if I can't shield my lady from all the pitfalls of life, then I feel like I failed as a person. But that's not really raw and uncut. It's really more geared towards I need to reveal these scars to you so we can heal. You probably can help me heal, or vice versa. You know what I mean? So it's deeper in a sense where it's just like, being able to reveal your true self and being vulnerable in situations where, you're trusting of that person to, just kind of help guide you. That makes everything a little bit more clear as far as just an understanding of hearing what a person is not just going through, but just how they're feeling emotionally, right?
Right. Absolutely.
So with this book, in the middle of the process, like when this was released and you read it, and obviously, you were putting this together and you kind of stepped back. So when it was released, and I know you probably got immediate feedback from close people, family, and whatnot. Like when you let it go for the world to see, like what was your perception that people would have, not just based on the title, but just based in general as far as what they were going to get out of it?
It was scary. It was really scary. And I don't know if I spoke to you before about this. The person that I initially wanted to get to edit it, she has started helping me on my memoir back in 2010. She was helping me edit, and she's a well-known, noted editor with a lot of celebrity books. And so when she decided that she would take on my personal story, and she was excited, and she sent me so much, and I just built a rapport with her over the phone. We've never met. So when I started writing this, it was still that raw content, that honesty. It's just me. And I said, okay, I'm going to send it to her. So I reached out to her, and she was like, oh, my God, Paula Campbell, I haven't spoken to you forever. So I'm like, yeah, I have this book, and this is what I'm working on. She said, send it to me. Oh, I'll be glad to read it. And she read my book, and she called me back 2 days later, and she said, what qualifies you to write this book? I said, well, my experience first and foremost. I said, but I've also taken some psychology classes. I've done my own research and therapy. And she said, well, this is not a book that I would read from you. This is something that Iyanla Vanzant should write. And when she said that, it really hurt my feelings. But then when I hung up with her, I said, wait a minute. So she's telling me that my work is good enough for Iyanla Vanzant to write, but I'm not qualified to do that because I'm not Iyanla Vanzant, because I'm not degreed, because I'm not a relationship counselor or a life coach. Well, does she know that Iyanla Vanzant wasn't a relationship coach, or she didn't have a psychology degree when she first wrote her first book? So I was very skeptical of sending it to people. My best friend loved it, but I'm always skeptical about her opinions because she's going to love everything that I do. She's never going to tell me anything bad, at least not directly if she thinks it's going to hurt me. So I sent it to a few of my girlfriends and a few of my mentors who are all men and older men to really get some response. And everybody had great things to say about it. So I just kind of decided to go for it. I did try to get a publishing contract initially, but that just poses to be really, really difficult sometimes, and sometimes you have to have the title of an author under your belt. So I just decided to self-publish, and it wasn't a bad idea. And honestly, if I have to self-publish my memoir, and I also have a poetry book and another book that I'm hoping to finish by the top of the year called 365 Ways to Please a Man. I'm hoping to have that done by the top of the year and be ready to put that out. And so, it was a lot, and I was afraid to really get any feedback, to be honest. I'm going to just close my eyes and be like, oh, my God, I sold 1 million books.
Right. And listen, Paula, with all the stuff you got going on, you taking me on an emotional roller coaster, girl. You got this, you got poetry, you got. I mean, come on now. I love it. I feel like this. Like as long as we've been interacting, as long as I've seen, as far as the connection and the rapport that we have, it inspires me to see that the stuff that you and I have talked about and the stuff that we've shared via, online or on the air is not only coming to fruition, it's actually, I feel like pieces of your heart that's being given to the fan base, new and established. And my question to you, honey, is the release of the book, was it just like, did you have more anticipation from this or from a single being released?
Oh, probably from my book, because it was my first time. So for me, releasing a single, I understand the process. I know what it is. I know exactly what I need to do. I don't really need any assistance, even though I prefer assistance. I prefer assistance, but I know how to do this. There are so many things that I need to go through with the book. Like, I don't know how to typeset my book. Well, looking at it now, I could probably do it, but that would be something that I would really want to take some time to do. As far as editing, I pretty much did my own editing, and I had help from a friend who is also a grant writer, but I saw some things that I need to do differently in editing, and I understand the need for an editor who has edited some books and relationship books. So I think the anticipation of it was probably a lot more intense than releasing a single, because this was my first book, and Where's the Song, I'm used to really telling my story, but in a way that I can kind of just close my eyes and feel it. This time I was actually speaking my story in words, and this isn't, let me say this, it's not all my story, but I kind of gave you a little bit of information about that past relationship, and that took a lot for me to even divulge. Because, if you look at my social media or you know anything about me, you probably understand that you really don't know too much personally.
Right.
So that was a lot.
Paula Campbell's my guest. If he wanted to be there, he would. 6 steps to push past the breakup. Go to iamPaulaCampbell.com. Denia, I'm telling you, girl, you're gonna come out. Listen, I read it twice, and look, you're gonna get to a point where you're gonna have to just kind of like, okay, you're gonna have to emotionally check yourself, because that's kind of how I'm feeling. And I know you and I are talking, and I'm not talking third person because Paula's on the line too. But Denia, I'm telling you, it's worth getting and it's worth reading multiple times, because the second time I read it was deeper than the first one. Just for the simple fact that, sometimes when you're reading, and it's just me, you're going through it and you enjoy it, but the second time I'm catching certain things about what I probably missed or, didn't pay too much attention to during that span. So, as Paula listens, I'm critiquing your book as I'm saying. But I'm telling you, y'all need to go get it. I swear, it got me feeling. Go ahead, Paula. Go ahead, because I'm all emotional right now. So go ahead.
No, what did you say? I wanted to hear it.
No, I just wanted to say, that second time, and I haven't let my lady read it yet, because I told her I was going to interview you and I was going to have this dialogue, and I just wanted to kind of get it out there, because even telling her how I feel about it or how I felt about it was a lot of emotional stuff that I just remember going through, therapy, I feel sometimes the breakup, you do feel that anxiety, or even while you're in it, you still when you're in a relationship, I realize there's moments where I feel anxious. And it's not really nothing that have to do with her, just mostly because, the anxiety of just, trying to, holding the responsibility down and making sure that she's happy or I'm doing the right thing or this, that, and the other. And it's not really about that. It's just about being free to express yourself. It's about being free to just be raw and uncut with your lady and not having an opportunity to, be and I say this, I'm saying this loosely, not to be a disappointment, and I say that is because, to me, I think when you're in a relationship, you have an opportunity to be able to show and improve, but also help that person grow. And wanting to be there, you're going to see that. And I heard, and I said this earlier, it's all effort-based, but also at the end of the day, you want to make sure that you are doing the best you can in order for that to radiate into your relationship anyways, you know what I mean? So, you know, it was just a lot of situations in this book where I felt like, you know, depression, yep, I felt that. Heartbreak and loneliness, for sure. But a lot of people don't understand you can have anxiety in a relationship, and even when that relationship is over as well. So there's kind of like a double-edged situation that you can have in that situation when it comes to anxiety, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, well, in research, like I told you, I found out that even suicidal thoughts, and I think, I forget, but the higher percentage of suicide in people 35 and younger stem from loneliness and heartbreak. And that's fact, factual information. So, you know, like we all want to be with, like, everybody wants love. They can be hurt, they can be disappointed, they can be afraid, so they pretend. But everyone wants to be loved, period. Everyone wants to be loved. You want to be loved. That's why people want to be artists. That's why people want to be known and be famous and be Instagram models and influencers and things like that. They want to be loved for something. Yeah. You look at comedians and the high suicide rate in comedians and depression rate in comedians, and they're just laughing and joking and telling you all because they need someone to pour into them because it's an empty space for them. And I'm not just saying in romantic relationships, but there's an emptiness, a void, a pain that isn't filled, and something that needs to be loved. And we forget as people just in general, and I guess this is kind of off the book, but we forget that everyone is fighting battles that we don't know about. That sounds cliche. You probably saw it on a meme or something like that, but everyone is fighting a battle that we know nothing about. And everyone is still deserving of love. If it's your smile that day, if it's a kind word that day, if it's some generosity of anything that day, every person on this earth deserves a little bit of that. And in relationships, we take each other for granted because we think, oh, he or she will never leave. I can act up. I can act a fool. I can do this. I can cheat. I can say what I want to say out of my mouth. I never have to apologize. I never have to help out. And this person is always going to be there. And we think because we're in the relationship that we don't have to show love. And that, in my opinion, is oftentimes the break of a lot of what could have been great relationships, great lasting relationships.
I agree.
Now you got a question?
Agree. I do. I think I love how you spoke about, you know, suicide is one of the leading causes of death when it comes to, like, 35 and younger. So what do you think that people can do to help them believe in themselves and be comfortable so that when they get into a relationship, they don't get lost to the point of they feel like the person that they're with is their only reason to live?
I think that first they need to get help. Like, people are just, especially the black community and especially black men, are just now beginning to speak about mental health and therapy and all of those things. Most times, depression and anxiety stems from issues that come from early on, at an earlier age. And even if it's relationship anxiety, it's usually not from that one particular relationship. It's from a plethora or several different relationships that you've been in, and they were a disappointment. So whatever that trauma or those triggers were in that relationship, even though you think that you're over it, something about this new person still gives you that same kind of trigger, and that adds on, and that goes to the next one and the next one until you finally get help. So I think that one thing you can do is try to get therapy if you can. One of my outlets is journaling. Of course, I love to write, so I write every day. I have tons of journals, and, you know, so that's my way of kind of letting it out. And I also was in therapy during that time for me, so I think that that's really great. But whatever it is, whatever your hobby is, but in depression, if you've ever been seriously depressed, had serious anxiety, I know I have, you don't want to get up. You don't want to take a shower. You don't want to brush your teeth. You don't want to go to the mailbox. You have to. You have to push yourself just a little bit every day, and every day you'll feel a little bit better. So when I was in that state, I literally had to push myself just to go walk a block. I run 5 miles a day. I used to walk 1 block up and walk 1 block back down to my apartment just so I could just get some sunlight and get some air. So you have to push yourself to start, and the unfortunate thing about it is that's not an easy place.
Right. And like you said, Paula, I feel like it's a lot. And you mentioned men, and you're absolutely right. It took me a while to even hit the therapy stage, and and I'm in my 40s now. So, and it took wanting to be better for, my daughter, my relationship with my lady, myself, in order for me to just say, hey, you know what, I need outside opinions in therapy just so I can be able to do it. And, Paula, you're right. It was a situation where, not having the relationship I wanted with my dad kind of took me there when it came to certain things that, has went on over the years as far as what those habits were. And I think, again, it goes back to the book, effort. I think when people go back and they look at the book and they be like, oh, okay, yeah, like, let me just see what's going on. But when someone says if he wanted to be there, he would, I think a lot of people don't really understand, like, how deep it is to push past, like, not just a breakup, but just repairing your heart. It's just really about just trying to find those things that you said yourself. If you got a hobby, if you feel a certain way, but you just got to, you know what, fuck it, I'm just going to go get up, and I'm just going to go walk, and I'm going to go walk back, and I'm going to do something that's going to make myself active. I think that's important for a lot of people and a lot of, relationships and friendships and work relationships, really, for that matter, too, right?
Absolutely. I mean, one of the questions that I asked a few times you read the book, who are you detached from anyone and anything else? And who is Paula without her vocal cords? Who is Paula without a pen in her hand or a paintbrush? Who are you? Who are you really? I mean, I grew up Baltimore City, Murder Mall, White Light Street. Like, my best friend was murdered when I was 7, literally. I grew up very hard. I grew up very closed off. I grew up with not a lot of love, understanding that I wanted it, but not knowing how to show it, not knowing what it really looked like. I had to figure it out as I went along. So along the way, there's a journey. A lot of people that know me will be like, oh, my God, she's so hard. And really, I am a Twinkie. I mean, I can be hard if you want to push me there, but that exterior that I used to showcase was not really me. That was fear. That was fear. If you guys read a lot, one of my favorite books, Marianne Williamson, what's the name? I'm forgetting the name of the book. Marianne Williamson, Return to Love. Thank you. A Return to Love. And in the book, she says there are only 2 things that exist, or the only thing that exists is fear and love. And you won't get this unless you read the book, but fear is not real. Therefore, only love exists.
Right.
Fear is, like, keep in mind, danger is very real, but it's still a choice to fear it or not. You know what I mean? The only thing that truly exists, like, we're all birthed and born in one thing. That is love. When we are developed in our parents' womb, we are built in a space of love. It doesn't matter what it is. It's love. Your spirit, your energy is automatically love. And we forget that because of so many experiences in life, so many things that people do to us. Also in the book, I talk about, especially coming from a childhood, how those things that parents may say or teachers may say early as kindergarten may make you feel less than. I remember, like, I paint now, and my paintings show that I still like to color outside the lines. So I would draw apples on my tree when I was in the kindergarten. We would have to color the trees in, and I would always put I would just put apples on my tree, or I would put grass in the yard where there was none. I would always add something extra, and my teacher would tell me that I was wrong, and she would tell me that it was sloppy or it was a mess. And as a result, it hurt my feelings, and it made me feel like I was wrong or inadequate or I wasn't as smart. And I'm in the kindergarten. I still remember this. Miss Harris was my kindergarten teacher, I promise you. So, I remember this, and it made me feel inadequate, as opposed to nurturing whatever it is that I had to give and say, hey, Paula, well, that's nice. But, this is the direction that you have to follow, so try to do it this way. And people don't understand just, I remember my grandmother, when I was 5, I think, my great-grandmother told my mother that she wanted to submit a videotape of me for Star Search, and my mother said in front of me, she said, I don't think she's good enough. I remember that. I was 5 years old. Those things will take from a person. No different from, a lot of women have been raped or, boys have been molested. It'll make you feel less than. So when you get to a relationship, you're looking to try to do things the way that they would have it done, as opposed to simply showing up as your complete self and allowing them to accept you for who you are and you accepting them for who they are with their differences. But we're taught that as early as we can even remember.
Very true.
Taking us to school, and actually she did that by dropping this book. If he wanted to be there, he would. Paula Campbell's my guest on Nexxlegacy Radio, Deniers Your Radio, and make sure you go to iamPaulaCampbell.com. Make sure you go ahead and grab the book, grab her music, just support. Follow her on Instagram, all Paula Campbell. And Paula, if you don't mind, I'll put a couple of people on the lines because they're sending messages back and forth, but there's people that actually want to say what's happening. So we're going to start with the first one. Say what's happening to Mr. Army. Young Army is mic'd up and on Nexxlegacy Radio. Deniers Your Radio. Army, what's up, man?
Hello. Thank you for taking my
Hi,
call,
Army.
friend. How you doing, Miss Paula?
Hi.
I'm learning a lot from talking to you. You're definitely a woman with wisdom, so I appreciate listening to you and hearing about your journey. And congratulations on publishing your book.
Thank you.
That's a huge accomplishment. I'm a writer myself. I've been writing since I was 11 years old. I'm 27 now. I'm sitting on about 5 manuscripts, and it's one manuscript in particular I feel like it's a hit, and I'm just going through the proofreading stages right now. But my main question is, I wanted to know from another writer, what's your advice on me publishing my book and pursuing my dreams, even when I don't necessarily get the support from those closest to me and my family, just like doing it by myself,
Absolutely. Those are the last people to support most times. That's very similar to my situation, but publish it. Like, you believe in you. You just said you think it's a hit, and understand that it is a hit. If you think it's a hit, it is a hit. And sometimes everyone doesn't always catch on to your work, your idea of story, the way that you write. But you just have to keep working. Like, it's not easy. This ain't made for the thin skin. And I'm sure you know that by now, because if not, you wouldn't have 5 manuscripts that you're sitting on. So at the end of the day, believe it, push it, do what you got to do, set up your publishing company, go through the different outlets that you need to go through, make sure you get it edited properly, make sure you get it typeset. You can go on Fiverr and get a typesetter. I had a bad experience and had to get mine typeset again, but a lot of people have been given great reviews about some people on Fiverr for typesetting and things like that. So, you can get that done for $30 or $40. So I'm just saying, try it and put it out. Believe in it. Get your work out. However you can do your own marketing and promotion. Do it if you can buy a couple of ads on social media so people can know more about it. Do it, but go for it. Absolutely. Don't tell yourself no.
Definitely. Thank you, Miss Paula. I appreciate it. A lot. That was my only question.
You're very welcome, Army. Thank you for tuning in.
No doubt.
All right, stay on Army. Let me go ahead and I think I 813. I got Miss Baby Girl mic'd up, and on Nexxlegacy Radio, Azure Radio. What's up, girl?
First of all, this is not Baby Girl. This is Miss Love.
Oh, well, see, you change your number every 5 seconds, so thank you for letting me know who you are, Miss Love.
You were supposed to lock me in already.
Hey, for real.
Lock me in already.
What's up, girl?
I'm so excited because I'm like what she's saying, but I'm really loving that you are in love, brand. Like, oh my God.
I mean,
that's new.
Listen, like Paula's book, I'm telling you, like it's important for everybody to get. Army, Miss Love, everybody out there listening, all the people on the line that's listening, all the people in the chat rooms that's listening right now. I'm telling you, when I say this, I read it twice. I'm gonna read it again. I'm gonna read it with my girl. I'm gonna do this. Like everybody out there that buys it, let us know, and we'll give you Paula. It's easy for you to give people shout outs. She's very active on social media. She will shout you out if you tag her that you bought the book or whatever, right, Paula?
Absolutely.
You know, I'm definitely gonna check it out. You know, I love to read and know everything that people feel about my name, so I have to know and understand. So.
Thank you so much.
I know how to feel, you know what I mean, and how to give that same exact love the way it should be given.
Right.
So I love that energy.
Thank
you.
I
most definitely have to get it.
I think it's important. I think it's real important. I think it's to a point. Denai, you got a question for Paula?
Oh my goodness. I mean, I think it's more of a comment. I think the biggest thing. Hold on 1 second. Sorry, let me see this down real quick. Sorry. I think the one thing that I would say is that it takes a lot of courage to write a book, whether you're talking about yourself or you're talking about the subject that you know. And I commend you for stepping out and giving yourself like that, because that's a lot. Like, people don't understand, that's a lot to be able, because you have to take the time to do it. You have to go through other people to make sure that what you're saying is appealing to the masses, because the book isn't just for you. So the fact that you were able to write this book and do it from that kind of perspective, I am so excited to read it. I'm definitely going to do a couple like little live readings, of chapters and stuff on live and whatnot, because just hearing you talk about it, I know that it's going to be super dope. And if you're writing your book writing is as dope as your music, I'm already sold.
Thank you. I appreciate that so much.
Listen, you know what I'm saying? This is Nexxlegacy Radio, Deny Azure Radio. Paula Campbell's my guest. Make sure y'all go get the book. If he wanted to be there, he would. Make sure you go to iamPaulaCampbell.com. Make sure you go ahead and follow her on Instagram at iamPaulaCampbell. So, listen, this is live radio, so I don't care. It is what it is. So, Paula, look, you got books on you right now? You got books at the house? You got books on deck?
You know what? I actually just sold out a book on Thursday, and I should have had a shipment in today. But I'll have it either on Monday or Tuesday. So yeah, I have books. I always keep books.
Are they on the Reader's brand?
All right. Listen. See, here's where I'm going with this. So look, Paula, if you get 1, 2, okay, Army's there, Miss Love's there, Deny, you already got yours, so yours is on the way. So I see 5 people on the line right now. Those 5 people, I will buy them. Paula, can you add an extra price to a signed autograph for 5? And I will Zelle you, or we'll do the payment arrangements or whatnot. And I'll do it right now before, after the show, and we're good. So you cool with that, right? Signed autographs, 5 of them going to these people out there. You cool with that?
Absolutely. I will send them out.
That's my girl. So listen, y'all. Listen. So Ms. Love, Army, I see Kev.
If they want it personalized, just FYI. So I either need names if they want it personalized, or they just want it signed.
I got you. I'll get their info, and I got most of them anyway, so I'll make sure I'll go ahead and grab that. So 5 books, and I'll go ahead and make that good purchase. for the listeners out there, as more people start to log in, they're like, he's giving away books. so we'll do a nice little something for the listeners out there. But definitely, y'all out there, go get it though. I'm telling you, and I'm saying this from and I said it earlier, I'm gonna say it again. It is worth the purchase. It is a must-have. It is a book that I feel like men and women can be able to share their experiences together with, and I think it's a book that I know it's a book that will help enhance communication, and I think that's really a big piece of how relationships work. You know what I mean? So, Paula, my question to you, sweetheart, is with everything that's been not just you going through everything that you've gone through, not just to get the book out, but life experience, etc. Like, how has understanding who you are as a person has helped your relationships, not just personally, but business relationships, etc.?
It makes me see where I belong, and more importantly, where I don't belong. I said this earlier on. To want to deny us questions, oftentimes we put ourselves and we, or let me say me, but I think people in general will try to force their way into something they want, even though they don't belong. And so it has helped me because I'm very aggressive, and if I want something, I'm getting it. And I've learned that no matter how bad I want something, it's not always for me, and it's okay to accept rejection. It's okay to understand that you're not needed, not even just like wanted, but you're not needed in certain spaces, and oftentimes there are certain things and certain places that you don't need to be a part of. So it's really just kind of helped me to calm my little ass nerves and really evaluate what it is that I am pursuing and making sure it's worth my time and my attention, but also releasing the things and the people that aren't worth my time or my attention.
I feel like just from hearing you talk, and like I said, I feel like you and I have crossed paths together. I want to say we go back since 2012, 2013, and just from, the interviews and just kind of like, Instagram, watching your growth, and just when we have dialogue, like, I feel like this. I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Paula, but I hear a different Paula than I heard, like, last month or 2 months ago or whatever. And does that have to do with just, the work that you put in from, getting this book out and accomplish the sigh of relief, and just being able to because again, I'm going to say this, anytime that you give something to somebody like that's a piece of yourself, you're always open and raw for, like you said, opinions and stuff like that. And I feel like, the appreciation should always be there. But how do you, I mean, am I reading the vibes wrong? But I feel like this is a different Paula than 2 months ago, though.
I think that we are ever evolving and ever changing. It's kind of like, you said you read the book, right, and you got something different from it every time. So I don't know if you've ever, like, read the Bible, like, cover to cover, but every now and again I try to make it my business to read the Bible cover to cover. And one book that always grabs me is the book of Job, because every time I read the book of Job, there is always a lesson in it that I didn't get the last time that I read it. And I think that as I continue to evolve, as I build relationships and business, and honestly, just this evolution of Paula, because we're always evolving if we allow it, I think that there is change. Like, I'm definitely learning how to be, how do I want to word that? I'm learning how to be just more present in who I am and allowing myself to be a woman completely, to be vulnerable, to be nurturing, to be caring, to be open to new ideas and concepts, to be available to others. And so if you see a change, I hope it's something that's positive. But I'm learning to kind of just relinquish some of whatever it is I thought I had to hold on to.
Right. And I feel like you've always been so open, generous, gracious to, you know, not just media folks, but your fan base. And like I said, we don't talk like every other day or whatever, but I just feel like in my heart, my spirit, it just says that, you know what, another word I could describe it is just centered. You just seem like you've always been confident. You've always came across that way, but I just feel like, you know, there's an at peace and a centered passion that you have, like right now as far as the vibe, and I just like the direction you're going as an independent artist and an artist that is, you know, just evolving, like you said earlier. And I just, I don't know, I just got a lot of love for you. And like I said, on top of that, you know, you just opened my eyes, re-examine like a lot of different things when it comes not just to the book, but just from, you know, just experiences, because I feel like we blaze a similar path when it comes to different experiences. And I just feel like, you know, you've really helped a lot of folks, not just myself, but others. And I just really appreciate it.
No, I appreciate you. Like, really, I do. And, like always, thank you for allowing me to be a part of your platform and your audience. All publicity is good publicity, but it's always good to have people on your team that want to spread goodness about you. So I appreciate that always.
This audience is turned up right now, so I just want to direct y'all to the Amazon spot, or go to Paula Campbell's website, iamPaulaCampbell.com. Deny, yes, even though you got a book coming, I'll make sure that I'll add that. So, Paula, it'll be 6 books I'll be buying from you, autographed, and I'll give you information on each one. These people, it's all good. But any parting or final words you want to say to Miss Paula? And also, Denia, you should check your email, too, because Paula sent an email as well. So, Denia.
Absolutely. Paula, I love every single time you come on. You have the most amazing energy ever. You have such a great spirit, and I am super excited to get this book. Child, you have no idea. I'm going to go, taking pictures of it, all that stuff, tagging you on Instagram with voice notes and all of that, because, you know, I think, because the first time we talked about, like, on Twitter, and we were just going back and forth, and then we got to interview you, and you're just talking about your journey with music and all that. To just know that you're so talented and so genuine, it's always been a pleasure to support you.
Thank you. I so appreciate that. Oh, y'all make me happy. I want to sing.
Hey, there you go. And I still have Army. Anything you want to say before we let Paula go?
Definitely. I just want to wish you continued success. You know what I mean, on your journey as a writer and in life. And I had wrote down what you said, so you know I'm gonna take my steps to get on my path, so I could, you know what I mean, so I could meet you in the limelight one day, man.
Let me tell you, it's really easy. It's really easy. Just FYI, like once you decide what you want to name your publishing company or whatever, make sure the name is available. It's really not. You may spend $200-300. Tops getting everything that you need. The only other thing that I would suggest is getting a bank account so that your purchases from the book can go on to into your account. And then also the company that's, in my opinion, easiest for printing and shipping and handling is called Ingram Spark. Go to Ingram Spark because you'll be able to get what you need quickly. They do the ship. Well, they'll ship you the book. They'll still submit it to Amazon and all of those places so that your book can be everywhere. But because if you do it strictly through Amazon, they're going to request still that you go outside and get another company to print, and then you'll have to get them to come to you, and then you'll have to send them to them. So go through Ingram Spark, and it's really not a hard process. Get a typesetter, get an editor, get someone to help you design your cover if you need. I designed my own cover, by the way. I was so proud of that. get what you need, and it's not as hard as you think. It's just a process, and sometimes it's tedious, but keep it moving.
All right, thank you.
There you go. Ms. Love, you wanna send a final goodbye to Paula? You got anything you want to add?
I'm just excited to get the book to read and make sure that I have the right information, so if I have any questions, I can contact her and ask her. That's what I do.
Yeah, you got it.
Come through.
You got it. Paula's my guest. Nexxlegacy Radio, Denia is your radio. Make sure you go ahead and get the book. If he wanted to be there, he would. Go to iamPaulaCampbell.com. Follow her on all social media platforms at Paula Campbell. And look, Paula, you definitely you always have an invitation to come back here live, listening to, and checking out all the people worldwide who's checking you out. I'm so proud of you. I am so proud of you. I am so proud of you. And whatever that we can do as a media network, and whatever we can do to be able to spread, good positive gospel about everything that you're doing, you got it right here. It doesn't take long for us to be able to do that. But before you even say anything, let me just thank you again, because if it wasn't for you in this book, I just keep getting constant reminders of certain things as far as, just trying to be level-headed and just trying to make sure that the key thing that I'm taking out of this is just making sure that we just not just hear you, but we just pay attention and listen. And I think those are like the best things to be able to kind of pull and take when it comes from not just the book, but everyday life. And it doesn't have to be just relationships. It can be business relationships, friendships, whatever the case may be. Just making sure that we stay humble. You know what I mean? So, Paula, you're the best.
Thank you. You're the greatest.
Hey, you're the best, sweetheart. So thank you, and I'm gonna send you a message. So text me your details so I can send you what's needed to be able to get these out there. Because I kid you not, Paula, everybody's like ooh. So I'm just telling you now, you might have to put something out there on Instagram if people want to get a signed autograph. You might be kept busy for a little while, Paula. So that's a good thing. Go buy the book, people.
It's always good. Busy is always good. Okay.
There you go. Paula, I appreciate it, sweetheart. I love you so much, and I'll be at you. Check your messages, and like I said, I'll make sure, the whole world wants the book now, and we need to make sure that is, every single city and state, every country needs to get this book for real. So thank you, dear.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Denia.
All right.
All right. You guys have a great one.
Thank you for listening to the #1 radio station for the people.
Nexxlegacy Radio.